Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Kathy Martin, President of the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce, and here with me is David Emanuel, our Executive Director. First, we would like to thank the Bowie Senior Center for sponsoring our event this morning. If you could stand and be recognized.
Yeah, there's Kathy. Yes,
There she
Kathy
is.
and Laurel. Is Laurel around? Laurel's over there.
Laurel's
Yes,
over
thank
there.
you both.
Thank you
for this.
so much for today.
Laurel's eating.
And of course, we want to give a special thanks to Chesapeake Grill and Deli for the wonderful breakfast this morning. Thank you so much. Everything's been delicious. And a big thanks to Boyd Campbell from Century 21 for sponsoring our event today.
There you go. There.
Is he? Okay.
There he is.
It's over there. And then, I'd like to give a big thank you to our corporate sponsors, BG&E, Safeway, Old Lang Bank, BB&T, O'Malley Miles, Nyland and Gilmore, St. John's Properties, Visiting Angels Home Care Agency, and Widman Financial. And then if we could have our board members from the Greater Bowie Chamber of Commerce, if they could please stand and be recognized. They're all spread out all over the place. Thank you so much for being here today. And now, a word from our premium corporate sponsor, Mike Fowler of BG&E. And Mike is also a former board member.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. There's snow on the ground for the State of the City address. All's right with the world. Isn't it? There we go. Thank you. But briefly, yes, I appreciate everyone coming out this morning. We're very, very happy to sponsor this event each year. The mayor tells me how he still can't believe he can get this many people out in the morning to listen to him talk. I told him I came from Baltimore just to hear him talk. But at BGE, coincidentally, the city is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year, and BGE is celebrating its 200th anniversary this year. Founded in 1816 by Rembrandt Peale, the famous artist family in Baltimore, for the purpose of lighting the streets of Baltimore with gas. So we've come a long way since then. Most people look at us as an electric company, but we are the oldest gas company in North America. And while this year will be a lot of celebrating and looking back over the history, it's really more about going forward and the innovation that is coming, the establishment of smart grid technology that's going to enable energy efficiency to move forward, the integration of new technologies like microgrids, electric vehicles into the system, and of course the ability for you as a consumer to manage your electricity, your energy consumption. So a lot of good things coming down the road that we can look forward to. But this morning, we all want to hear what the mayor has to say, and I think he had a very successful weekend in terms of dealing with the snow as well. So again, thank you very much for being here this morning, and look forward to hearing his remarks. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. And before we move on, we want to recognize the Bowie City Council, all the members that are here today. Can you please stand? We would also like to thank Bowie City Manager David Deutsch and his staff for all of today's preparation and being with us this morning, and all of the city representatives and officials who are here today. Would you please stand? And a special thank you to Mark Patterson from the City of Bowie's Access Cable television station, where he's recording our event for the local cable channels. As always, appreciate support.
And that's pretty much everybody standing, and we just thank you for being here, as we said today. Finally, of course, the State of the City breakfast would not be complete without our all-important guest, the mayor, G. Fred Robinson. If you look at your programs today, some of you, if you're at some of the back tables, there are still some programs up here if you want to grab one. I thought this was interesting that today is January 27th, and this is our 27th annual event, and ironically, it's Fred's 27th term as mayor, which a lot of people didn't realize. But anyway, I'm sorry. I had to throw one in there, Fred. But in all seriousness, it's clear that Mayor Fred's record and reputation is that of someone who's very proud of his hometown and wants to do and does do everything he can to make it the best place to live. For decades now, he has worked to make the city prosper. The city's tax base remains incredibly strong, and that's particularly impressive considering all of the economic hardships we've had to face in the past several years. He has obviously been not only a great leader to Bowie, but also a great friend to the business community. And with all that and more, Mr. Mayor, we invite you at this time to come forward and take over the podium. And to the audience, we invite you to hold all your questions till the end because we will have a Q&A session at the end with the mayor. So ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure I introduce you to Mayor Fred Robinson.
Before she goes, have you noticed her feet?
Stop it.
I know they're subtle, but those, that is lovely. That is lovely.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. The best thing that's happened to Bowie in the last weekend is we did not make the news. Yeah. It's been funny. I think the image of the region is going to be news reporters standing knee-deep in streets in other areas of the county and in Montgomery County and in Virginia and stuff. But we can at least get out to our cars and drive. But first, I want to dispel a rumor that BG&E might want to start. They're talking about our 100th anniversary. I was not the mayor when you guys lit up Baltimore. No, and you keep spreading those kind of rumors. But thank you all for being here. I was telling somebody, I'm just a street kid, and I'm always amazed that you guys have nothing to do. So you're willing to come out on 8 o'clock to hear anything I've got to say. So thank you for joining us on this. And I'd like to start off by thanking the Chamber for the opportunity to present the 2016 State of the City Report. It's always a pleasure to hang around with you guys. I really appreciate everything you do to make this city as strong and as vibrant and as healthy as it is. Because without your commitment, nothing else that we do would work as well. We've gathered in this Senior Center a number of times, and it's kind of a remarkable. And I think this building probably represents Bowie as well as anything does. It recognizes those that help guide Bowie from a development into a community. It respects our history, but importantly, it shows our commitment to the future as well. I think indeed that this community center here, the senior center, is really a metaphor for what the city's all about. Taking care of our folks, giving them opportunities, and letting people come together and enjoying themselves. So in light of that incredible insight, I'm happy to report that the state of the city of Bowie is strong. And I repeat the boast. We are the strongest, the most diverse, most family-friendly community in the region. We have been very successful, and a lot of that is because of your efforts, so thank you. We're a very welcoming community to new residents and to new businesses. While we're not immune to outside influences, we've been fairly successful in dealing with the challenges that have faced us in the last few years. While some economic trends continue to require attention, we're prepared to embrace the future. Like you and your businesses, we vigilantly keep an eye on the bottom line, and despite those concerns, we are optimistic about the future and we are looking forward to embrace the future. According to the Census Bureau, we have about 1,500 businesses that employ over almost 23,000 people in the zip codes that make up the city of Bowie. Bowie's business base represents over 10% of the county's business base and about 10% of all of its employees. Now, 2015 was a good year for entrepreneurs in Bowie. The city received national recognition as a center for women entrepreneurs, and the Bowie Business Innovation Center, our incubation program, continues to expand and deliver additional business support to new entrepreneurs and professional services and technology-based companies. And I just found out this morning that the BIC is now within the top 10 of all BIC organizations, all incubator organizations in the state. So congratulations for what you're doing. And take a little bit of additional pride. Money Magazine rated Bowie 28th of the top 50 places to live in the United States of America. Bowie was named the 50th best city in the entire United States for women entrepreneurs and is the top-ranked city in Prince George's County based on a survey by Good Call. Our active parks and recreational facilities range from athletic fields to the popular ice arena and the Cindy Gymnasium, to quiet parks that offer a pleasant place to relax, just to simply enjoy a good book. They are the envy of the region. Our dynamic senior population enlivens our community and animates the only nationally accredited senior center in Maryland, which offers programs, activities, and services that promote active, independent, and healthy lifestyles. Our great museums offer a glimpse back at colonial American life and a storied thoroughbred racing history. Our historic railroad operations, our radio and television history. We even offer a genealogy library where you can explore your family's history. I suggest, however, you search your family history at your own risk. We support beautiful public art that's visible to all and enhances our entire community. Public art brightens City Hall, Town Green Park, the Boathouse at Allen's Pond, and Main Street. Our newest addition is in Veterans Park, where we just, on Memorial Day, dedicated a new memorial to the men and women that have protected this country since the very beginning. We're proud to have this lasting memorial in our community, and it gives us a means to recall our history and honor those that have served and protected the nation since the very beginning. The Bowie is strong not because we prepare solid plans and are guided by sound fiscal policies, but because we take that planning obligation seriously. We plan, we look forward, and we do all we can to anticipate what's coming, and we will be ready. But we always save like you do, and we plan for the unexpected. We can and we do influence the local economy in positive ways through policy and through tax rates, by creating a business-friendly atmosphere, and by providing a positive environment for your business. We remain convinced that residential and business communities are bonded together, and we do all we can to assist progress and prosperity between both of these two critical components of our city. I wrote this paragraph last week. We maintain our streets and sidewalks. We plow our streets quickly and effectively. We offer, and like I said, the good thing about this is we did not make the news over the last couple of days. But let me go offside here for a second. All of you appreciate how much fun it's been to get around for the last couple of weekends. I want to take a moment to thank David and his people publicly. They opened up the Emergency Operations Center last Friday, and 24 hours a day, they keep this city active and moving, and they got the streets plowed, and like I said, they kept us out of the news. David, from all of us, to you and your staff and police, public safety, everybody that worked so hard over the weekend, thank you very much. To employ the vernacular, you've done good. Now, speaking of creating an environment that's safe and inviting, last year we adopted a climate action plan in an effort to reduce total community greenhouse emissions by 20% by 2020 and to reduce our cost of operation as well. To that end, we purchased our first electric car and 2 electric motorcycles for the police department. And I got to tell you, I've been around cops for a long time. I never thought I'd see the day when the police chief goes to a public thing and starts talking about environmentally sensitive motorcycles. Chief, you're doing a great job. Thank you. And we're replacing LED fixtures and are installed in all our facilities. We also provide energy audits at no charge to grantees in a senior housing rehabilitation program. We've established a green business recognition program to promote energy and greenhouse gas reductions, and we'll be pleased to have you complete a survey and join us as quickly as you can. Along this line, we're planning to construct a solar array at the city-owned Encian property that will generate 8 million kilowatt hours of electricity annually. The project represents over 60% of the city's consumption. We estimate that this will also save us over $370,000 a year in electricity consumption and distribution. Now, here's another paragraph I wrote last week. And over the weekend, I thought about it, whether it should be clipped. While we're on the subject of energy, I want to recognize one additional matter. We continue to enjoy improved BG&E service delivery reliability. Reliability investments made during the Bowie Electric Reliability Plan, BRAP, that was implemented in 2010, continues to return value to the city. Bowie's reliability continues to track favorably against the BG&E system generally, and it shows that program, which is now the state standard, the Public Service Commission uses that BRAP plan as in across the state. So I had concerns about you, Sparky. I want you to know the EOC had a monitor set up with your website on it, and it says outages, and it stayed blank the whole time. So whatever you did, thank you very much, because we can adjust everything except losing power. All right, in terms of the city's finances, you're going to hear my brag. Budget's balanced, the bills are paid, and we maintain a strong reserve. Our revenue comes from residential property taxes, shared income taxes, business taxes, licenses, fees, and grants from other levels of governments. We're proud of our commitment to fiscal responsibility and, importantly, the retention of the prestigious AAA bond rating. We are one of 2 municipalities in the entire state of Maryland that shares that honor. Bowie is a strong, growing, well-educated community of over 56,000 residents. Median household income is over $106,000. Average house in the Bowie sold for $315,000 last year, up from $295,000 the year before. So we're doing well there. Thank you, real estate folks. For fiscal 2017, we expect our budget to be close to what it's been for the last couple of years, with an operating budget of about $15 million. Our primary focus will continue to be on core city services and public safety. Now, regarding public safety, 9 years after the first officers began patrols in Bowie, the Bowie Police Department has become a model for the region with an authorized strength of 64 officers. The department's newest addition, Rooster, a golden lab and our first canine, graduated from drug detection school on December the 11th. He began his first shift 3 days later and caught a case that resulted in a drug arrest, a great first day for Rooster and his handler, Robert Warrington. Our police department, importantly, maintains a strong relationship with residents, with business communities, and with the community groups, and it partners with the county police department extremely well. Our officers constantly work to strengthen ties with these groups through education and community programs such as Bowie Explorers and the Citizens Academy, with Shop with a Cop, Cop for a Day, which was recently featured on Fox News, just to name a few. This is really a reflection of a leadership that's innovative and accessible, and by an operation that is transparent. The officers reflect their community in every aspect. They are truly invested in Bowie, and they take crimes that threaten Bowie seriously. We're incredibly proud of the men and women of the Bowie Police Department. Thank you for your service. Again, to employ the vernacular, you've done good. This spring, we plan to launch a Bowie non-emergency call center. The new call center will ensure that residents can reach city offices 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The call center will also act as a communications hub for all city services during non-business hours. We'll provide 24/7 access to the police department, as well as after-hours city support for community services such as water main breaks, sewer backups, or downed trees. Emergency dispatch will continue through the county 911, but all other calls for service will be handled by a City of Bowie employee, and we're looking to enhance that even more. Now let's discuss a couple of ongoing major projects that illustrate how the council and other levels of government and city staff and business community have worked together to continue to make this city great. Bowie Marketplace is rising from the ashes. It's an example of public-private partnership at its very best. Having fallen into decay and disrepair, the mall was an eyesore, nearly abandoned, vandalized, and at times occupied by vagrants. Several developers stepped in over the past decade and attempted to execute a redevelopment plan, but none succeeded until now. Although we were initially disappointed that Berman Enterprise originally saw the project as an investment for future development, we quickly assembled a full array of city officials, city staff, county officials, local business support, and an energized community to encourage Berman Enterprise to move forward on this project. They did, and nearly 150,000 square foot retail center is coming out of the ground like gangbusters. We're looking forward to shopping at Harris Teeter, AutoZone, Petco, and Firehouse Subs, among numerous other businesses that we look forward to receiving their creative plans from Berman for the design of a residential component that will complement the commercial site. We would like to thank Berman Enterprise for having the courage and the foresight to invest in our community and for their fortitude in getting things done in a very timely manner. I don't know if Berman's here today, but from all of us, well done. Your project is moving greatly. I can't talk about this subject without taking another second here. I want to take a moment to congratulate the City Council for the courage it took to step forward in this project and create the foundation for success. As some of you might know, originally, in order to get Harris Teeter and a couple other high-end things, they kind of exceeded their budget. And they looked for some creative assistance from the city. And being the city kid, I said, to find help. And we talked about it, and finally they came up with the idea that if we helped them with the destruction and removal process, that would put them back over the top. Well, we sat down together, and understand the city had not done this before. It was a $700,000 investment. And we looked at the costs and the benefits. Obviously, the benefit would be to take down the eyesore that would eventually damage the entire 450 corridor. And the challenge was to come up with that kind of money. And I remember talking to some people in council and said, look, this would be an easy no vote, because nobody's going to get mad at you if you don't vote yes. But if you don't vote yes, that thing will continue to go down. And to their credit, council stood up and recognized the benefit of doing that. So it was a courageous vote. So the two of you are here. These are people that supported this plan from the very beginning. I want to thank you publicly for having the courage of your conviction to get that done, because that 20 years from now, people are going to look back and say, what a great deal that was. And thank you very much. The same willingness to look at a lingering project with fresh eyes can also be seen in the council's approach to the development at Melford. For some time, many believed that Melford was Latin for contention and disagreement. I have no idea where that would have come from. While there has been some history of challenge at this time, ownership and the city are now clearly on the same page, and we're moving together successfully. I just heard of the commitment now of Thrive, a new senior family facility, is a go. And they will start construction in very short order. So Melford is alive and well, and we thank you for your encouragement. But it too has been kind of a bumpy road. In 2013, the City Council took a bold step to alter some site covenants to allow for the development of a mixed-use project there, all subject to control and review by the city. That agreement set a new direction for Melford. In 2015, a new conceptual site plan for mixed use containing 2,500 single-family attached and multifamily residential units, 260,000 square feet of office space, and 268,000 square feet of retail space was approved by the city and by the county. Now, there's a circuit court hearing pending on some of the issues, but we're confident that's going to move forward. So I think we want to offer our congratulations to St. John's Property for their outstanding efforts in moving Melford forward. We look forward to continuing this project as they develop this site into a premier multi-use facility. Thank you, Melford. Preliminary subdivision plan and special exception for 180,000 square foot Walmart superstore on Mill Branch Crossing was approved by the city and by the district council in 2009. An appeal of the approvals by some neighbors was heard on January the 16th, and we await the results of that hearing. While that's pending, a site plan is being prepared for a 365,000 square foot mixed-use commercial center, 13,000 square feet of restaurant space, and a 150-room hotel. The subdivision, and stormwater management concept plan for redevelopment of the Melvin property, leading to construction of a new 31,000 Lytle grocery store, was also approved in 2015, and we're going to welcome Lytle Grocery to the city very shortly. Now, the last several years have witnessed some much discussion and substantial agreement and some action on transportation issues. The city approved a curbed 4-lane expansion of Maryland 197, featuring sidewalks and trees from Kent Hill to 450. Design and engineering funds of $11 million have been approved for that project. However, no funding for right-of-way acquisition or construction has yet been approved. But anyone driving this section knows how important this project is to the city. We acknowledge and appreciate the efforts of our state delegation, but continue to encourage completion and hope to see this continued movement on this critical component. The city continues to support and encourage advancement of an improved 450. This project consists of design and engineering to upgrade 450 as a multi-lane divided road from Stony Brook to 3. Planning studies were completed for this in 1988. Preliminary design is currently underway. Engineering is almost 95% completed, but the project is on hold because no construction funds are programmed in the state for this year. We continue to work with county and state officials for enhanced priority and funding for Route 301. This matter consists of the planning and preliminary design of a new interchange on 197 and a continuous, fully integrated frontage road system. This project was funded for planning purposes through FY09. The project is also on hold. Project funding was programmed through 2015, however. One recurring issue of special importance to the city is the Highway User Fund Trust Fund. Pending decisions of the state regarding shared revenues cause some degree of uncertainty for us. For Bowie, these funds are critical to the maintenance and repair of our nearly 200 miles of streets and roads. The impact of the cuts have been dramatic over the past few years. In 2007, Bowie's share of this fund was $3.1 million. In 2011, it dropped to $400,000. Then $500,000 one year and approximately $1.5 million the next. The good news is that it appears to be on the upswing, and we look forward to what the new fiscal year will bring. We strongly support state delegation efforts and the governor's efforts to restore full funding of this important component immediately. As we get into budget planning this year, the City Council will prepare a new strategic planning exercise to update the strategic plan that we did in 2005. This process will be facilitated by an outside consultant and will involve Bowie residents and city staff. The intent of this effort is to establish new major goals and to set implementable objectives to accomplish over the next 5 years. It's anticipated that the council will conclude this process and have a document available by this summer. A matter of concern that will almost certainly be a part of the plan is a review of the city's water system and infrastructure. It's aged and it's in need of some serious condition and replacement area. The wastewater treatment plant is the most modern facility in our system. The plant was built in 1982 and upgraded in 2009 to implement enhanced nutrient removal technology. That upgrade, largely funded by with assistance from the state of Maryland, makes our treatment plant state of the art in terms of nitrogen and phosphorus removal. We've improved our water supply system in the past, adding one well and replacing 2 older wells. The water filtration plant has been improved in the past to remove challenges and improve operating efficiencies. While the plants have received several improvements in the past, the water distribution piping and sewage collection system is aged and in many cases in need of some repair. City Council has asked staff to review an overview of the entire system this year with a focus on short-term, mid-term, long-term, and unexpected emergency conditions that could occur given the age of the system. This is clearly a significant issue that will be dominated by structural and economic decisions. There is a finite number of system users, so methods of improvement, timing, and cost are going to demand serious consideration. However, it's an important task, and we take a serious planning and cost determination. We want to do it sooner rather than later. As the process continues, Council will keep residents in Bowie updated on what we're going to do. We also want to restart plans for a new indoor sports center that has taken longer than hoped for because of site selection issues. City-owned sites that are of sufficient size have complicating conditions that disqualify them. But we're looking at the sites now that show great promise. We're now making a very positive progress, and we believe this project will be on track. Now, importantly, 2016 marks the 100th anniversary of the incorporation of the town, now city of Bowie. We're going to celebrate city's life as a centenarian, 100 years of growth, unity, and progress. We've had a strong group of citizens and staff that have been meeting bi-weekly for over 6 months, and there's going to be a great celebration. So we want you all to get ready for this. A calendar will be issued shortly with major events, including Heritage Day, special Heritage Community Picnic and Sing-Along at Allen Pond. The traditional Memorial Day Parade and Bowie Fest will enjoy a centennial theme. Special 100 programs are planned at the Mansion, the Senior Center, the ice rink, and the gym. Fun activities will take place as well in Old Bowie, acknowledging Old Bowie Huntington's role as the birthplace of Bowie. Our kickoff will be in April 2016 and conclude in April of 2017 with the biggest birthday cake we can find. So we look forward to your active participation in this celebration. Now, I don't want to close any kind of conversation with the folks here without acknowledging, my personal belief that the city's future and its success have been tied dramatically to yours. I don't know a lot of communities that I visit that have the great relationship the city does here with its business community. I think we both realize that we're in a combined thing, a combined effort, and your contributions to the stability and the viability and the job conditions and financial stability of the city does not go unnoted and unappreciated. Your vibrancy and the vibrancy of this chamber is important to us and important to the community. So I encourage you to continue reaching out, drag in new businesses, let them see what a great place this is. Remember, we divide the world into two groups: people that live here and people that should. People that do business here and people that should. It's a great place to be, and without a doubt, it's a great place because of what you do. We truly appreciate everything you've done. So as I close, I want to just make a passing remark saying that you guys are special. We thank you for this. We thank you for coming to the Senior Center. I think this is now one of our most used facilities in the city. It is the most animated building probably. In other words, you come in here, come seeing Kathy and Laurel, and all they do is party here all the time. So when some of you get old enough to be eligible to join us here, you will find a great environment here. Because like I say, these are the people that converted a development into a community. And to see them up here and having a good time and excited is well worth the visit. So I'm going to close and ask you to continue to do what you do, continue investing in Bowie. It's a great place. We're glad to have you. As you leave, I'd like to close, as I close most all of my events, I ask you to remember the young men and women that are serving this country all over the world today, particularly those that are in harm's way, and wish with me that they get home soon and safely. So you all have a great day. Enjoy the day. And remember, the great thing is we did not make the news this last week.
And Fred is gracious enough again to answer some questions. If there's questions from the audience, we do have a few minutes before we ask you also to grab some more food. So if anybody has questions, we will recognize you, and the mayor will answer them for you. So are there any hands out there?
Yeah, by the way, I'm free this week because I will not be doing the Fox interview. You got to find humor where you see it. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
After the unfortunate shootings in Old Bowie last year, I think the city was doing some efforts to reach out to the youth of Old Bowie. Can you or Dave give us an update on our efforts there?
Up in Old Bowie?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think we've done a great deal of it. We've enhanced some business opportunities. We've provided some bus services for local kids to get involved with some mentoring programs here at the a couple of city facilities. The police have initiated a number of programs up there with community involvement. One of the things we have to understand, we're a very large, small town. And, with 60,000 people in the city, we're going to have ups and downs. But the neat thing about the community is whenever we have a challenge, everybody seems to come together. Some of you that were up at the Huntington Center last year when we were having some difficulties up there, the thing that was amazing was to watch the folks come in there and take ownership of the challenge and take ownership of the problem and say, we're going to fix it. I remember one beautiful exchange that was up there. We were talking about some young people who are having some challenges. And we were talking about putting them on a bus and bringing them down here and exposing them to different kind of job opportunities and some training opportunities. And one gentleman stood up and said, those boys aren't going to get on that bus. They're not going to do it. One diminutive, small woman stood up and said, my son will be on that bus. I looked at that woman standing there, and I had visions of my grandmother. And I told him, and she said, no question, my son will be on that bus because I'm going to make sure he gets taken care of and he gets ready. Some of you may have recall some of the unpleasant things that were in Baltimore last year. What was one highlight of that? That all of that stuff, when that one lady came out there, saw her son in the middle of that, and like my grandmother would, grabbed that boy by the collar and dragged him home and says, you coming home, son. That woman in Baltimore and that lady up in Old Bowie are people that are taking ownership of challenges, and that's what makes this city a success, because we have people that will take ownership of problems and deal with them. And I think that's what's happened up there. As people have reminded me over and over again that it was Huntington and annexed Bowie, and not the other way around. So they're historically connected to us. That's our home, and we're going to do everything we can to do it. The city's invested an awful lot of money and time in the historic section of the city over the last few years. We've spent almost all of our block grant money on a lot of programs up there. You see a lot of the facade treatments that have been done up there. And the chamber has been actively involved in a lot of that, getting new businesses to come in there. And we've converted some vacant spaces up there into parking facilities so that some of the restaurants and businesses can expand their opportunities as well. So again, it's been a partnership between business and the city, and the results have been great. You can go up there, you used to have go to the antique business. Now you go candy stores and ice cream stores and restaurants and, have a nice, and it's continuing to grow. Go up there and, you got the Welcoming Center, the railroad museums and all that stuff, and right down the street from the university. The potential there is still there. We're going to tap into more. And then the residential community around it continues to grow. We're continuing to have conversations with the university about someday bringing the university into the city. There's no immediate financial advantage to the city because it's a state facility, it's not a tax base. But I think there's a great relationship potential there. Bowie BIC, or one of our business things, the university hosts that for us. The business school at the Bowie State University has been a vital component to engaging with us in business development. Business school there is terrific. Every time I go to Bowie, we have the same joke about how can you recognize the business students on the university campus? They're the ones with the jacket and tie, because they've already learned about the business condition. So BIC is doing well. The entrepreneuring program is doing well. Our future is limited only by our imagination and only by our willingness to embrace that. I go back to the comment I made about the city council having the courage to do something no city council had done before. And that is invest, at the end of the day, invest almost $1 million in the project known as Marketplace. And like I say, 20, 30 years from now, people are going to sit back and look at it. They're going to look at the City Hall that we've been in several years now. And most of you have heard this great story. We realized we needed a new building. We were prepared to do it. We planned for it. But there was some degree of consternation when we decided to build it in the middle of the construction and real estate downfall. But we looked at it and we said, being prepared and being prepared to pull the trigger at the right time. That $25 million project went up for $16 million. That because of that AAA bond rating, that 5% loan became a 3% loan. And because the finance people have a sharp pencil and laid out a creative repay schedule, we saved another $1 million on the cost of the loan. That's money that can be reinvested in other things. And that's just typical of the quality of people that work for you. This weekend was a great example of seeing how the city staff comes together in an emergency. But I see them in non-emergency situations. I see them every day. Think about this for a second. There's 30,000 houses in the city. And everybody gets 2 trash pickups a week, recycling, and everything. So multiply those contacts out, 30,000 or 20,000, 30,000 times 2 is 60,000, 120, 130,000 contacts a week just with the Public Works Department. And the number of complaints we get, almost non-existent. I tell them that they're like a great referee at a football game. You know the game has been good if you don't notice the referees. You don't notice the Public Works people. They're in and out. They're part of the community. The police are in the community. They're part of the community. But these are the folks I see every day. I can't brag enough on the quality of the men and women that staff your city for you. They're just an incredible treasure. I'm probably being too nice to them now because we've got budgets coming up, and he was laughing at me. I love this city. This is one of the greatest cities in the region. There's no question about that. But it is really great because the people that live here take care of each other. The businesses here are engaged in things other than profit and loss. And the staff here is incredibly committed to their staff. We have people that stay here. Our idea is to get the best people and keep them. David and I laugh all the time. We have people in the waterworks been here for 50 years. And I asked David, I said, what's the succession plan? He says, well, the assistant has been here for 40 years. But it's just, these people are incredible. And a lot of times they just blend in because they're doing such a great job. Like I said, I'm glad things are doing well. The city is just great. I do feel sorry for people who don't live here. You can't believe when I talk to mayors across the state, first off, they'd start complaining about their council. And I said, oh, you couldn't believe it. No, I didn't. I said, look at the 6 people I work with. Look at the range, the talent that's there, and the commitment that they've given back to the city. I mean, you got my PhD buddy here who only knows one word, and that's Church Road. You give him an unlimited budget for Church Road Park, and he wants to overspend it. Diane's been running a tax business here in the city for years, and she does an incredible business.
23 years.
But how long?
23 years.
You were part of his lighting program? But these people that have been here for a long time, and they are truly committed, to making the city great. And none of them are going to the Fox News either.
Any other questions for Fred?
Do any of you know
Wow.
that this is the 55th anniversary, yesterday, the 55th anniversary of a significant event in American history? The first presidential news conference, John F. Kennedy. And the neat thing about John F. Kennedy's news conferences, all of the answers to those questions took less than a minute. See if you can't get that here.
That's great.
Madam.
Invite anybody who would like to take a tour of the center. Please meet me at the front desk, and I'll give you a 50-cent tour.
That's great. That's
You can
great.
go in and see the exercise equipment. I've never seen it, but they tell me it's nice. Congressman Hoyer was in town. It's been a while back. He was up at City Hall, and he said, I want to go down and see the senior center.
Okay.
And I said, okay. Didn't bother to call ahead, jumped in the car and drove down here. All the way down here, I'm saying, God, I hope there's somebody there. We walked in, there's like 300 people in here having lunch. We walked down, if you come in here and turn to the right, everything you see is stereotypical senior center.
Yeah.
Arts and crafts, music, pool tables, all of those kinds of things. Every one of those rooms was filled. If you turn to the left, it's all physical conditioning improvement and intellectual stimulation. If you turn to the left, each one of these rooms had some kind of a physical exercise program going on. The gym was in full force. The library had 3 or 4 people sitting in the library discussing things. You walk to the 2 computer labs, they were full. There's 4 classrooms going on down there. One had a class in Italian, one had a class in Spanish, one had a class in theater or something. And Stanley looks at me and he says, boy, this is really active. And I said, it's like this every day. But I tell you, Kathy and Laurel and the staff for this place. Like, it's one thing to put up the bricks and mortars, to put this building up, but you guys have done an incredible job in making it so welcoming. You see people come in, and it was funny when you see somebody come up here for the first time. They may be 55, 60, 65 years old. They're a little bit cautious. You see them come in there, and one of these people swoop down on them, wrap their arms around them. And before you know it, they're down there cheating at cards or shooting pool, or in here drinking and partying or whatever it is that you all do here every day. But it is great. Understand that 25% of our population now is over 65. And I think 28% of our population is under 25. So you can see the great balance that exists in the city, which is a challenge for us because at the same time you're building senior centers, you're building ball fields. And it's a hard balance. But anyway, like I said, I feel sorry for people who don't live here.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Fred. Thanks so much, Fred.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. And thank you again, Mr. Mayor, for all you do for the city of Bowie and our business community.
And before everyone goes, we urge you to keep your programs and keep the flyer on your table. Take a look at that for the 100 Years of Growth, all the events coming up. And also, there were some survey cards, I believe. There's a business survey going on. Please grab some of those business cards on your table as well. Now, on the back of the program, a couple things I want to highlight, speaking of Diane. On the back of the program, first of all, it is 2016. It does still say 2015. Tried to get those programs done before the blizzard, so that was one thing I missed. But all of the dates are correct. So when you look on the back and it says March 2015, they are correct. And two of the events coming up is one that is going to be led by Diane. It's called How to Handle Your Taxes, and from Total Tax Services, so you couldn't have a better representative than that. That's at 11:30 a.m. on Friday, February 5th at Texas Roadhouse, and it's $15 a person because lunch will be provided there, and we pretty much have the restaurant to ourselves. So we usually get for these workshops anywhere from 10 to 25 people. So it's a good little intimate workshop, and there's plenty of time to ask Diane questions, and she'll be giving a program for that.
Significant changes this year, so if you haven't made your lunch
Yeah.
reservation, please do, because like I said, there's some significant changes that are going to cost you a few dollars.
That's right. That's right. And the information is on the back of the program, the phone number to call, and the emails and everything to contact us. So again, we thank you all for being here, and please come on out, support the chamber, support your business community. There's wonderful networking events. And again, thank you, Chesapeake Grill, and thank you for the Senior Center. Please grab some more food. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.